All right, let's drive right in. You know that feeling, right? That instinct that tells you driving faster is just more dangerous? But have you ever stopped to think how much more dangerous? Today, we're going to get into the mind-blowing physics of a car crash to really understand the forces at play. And trust me, the answer is probably not what you're expecting.
Yeah, this quote really nails it. One violent jolt, that's all it takes. And that single brutal moment, it's all about pure physics. You know, understanding these forces isn't just some boring science lesson. It's genuinely one of the most important things we can know to keep ourselves and the people we care about safe out there on the road.
So that leads us right to the big question for today. It just feels so logical, doesn't it? If you double your speed from 30 to 60, you double the force of the impact. Simple. Except it's not. As we're about to find out, the real physics at work here tells a much more dramatic story. Okay, so to really get our heads around that question, we first need to break down the basic ingredients of any collision. There are just a few key ideas that when you put them all together really determine how bad a crash is going to be.
First up, we've got mass. And really all this is how heavy something is. You know, how much stuff it's made of. Think about the huge difference between a little two-seater and a massive semi-truck. It's pretty obvious, right? The more mass an object has, the more force it's going to take to bring it to a stop. Next, there's velocity. Now, this is a little different from just speed. Velocity is speed, but in a specific direction. So think about it. A car going 60 miles per hour heading north and another car going 60 miles per hour heading east, they have the same speed, but completely different velocities. And in a crash, you can bet that direction matters a lot.
And when you smash mass and velocity together, you get momentum. I absolutely love the word the source uses here, oomph. It's perfect, right? It's that oomph an object has when it's moving. A bowling ball rolling down the lane has it. A fastball has a ton of it. So more mass or more speed means more momentum and a whole lot more oomph that has to be dealt with in a collision.
Okay, so we've got the basic physics down. Mass, velocity, momentum. But here's the thing. A real-world crash isn't happening in some clean physics lab. It's a messy, chaotic, incredibly fast event where a ton of other factors all slam together in the blink of an eye.
And this is where it gets really complicated. I mean, just look at all the variables at play here. Of course, you've got the speed and the weight of the vehicles, we just talked about those, but then think about the angle of the impact. A direct head-on collision is a totally different beast than just a glancing blow. And then you have the car's own built-in defenses, right? Things like airbags and crumple zones. They are literally designed to manage these exact forces. Even the surface matters. Hitting a soft, grassy shoulder is way different than hitting a concrete wall because it changes how fast you stop. It's this incredibly complex, lightning-fast equation.
All right, with all of that in mind, let's circle back to that big question we started with. Does doubling your speed just double the force of the impact? We've laid all the groundwork, and now it's time for the big reveal.
So, is the force doubled when you double the speed? The answer is a huge, definite no, not even close. That common sense idea that it's a simple one-to-one relationship, it's just completely wrong. So what is really going on here?
Well, the secret is in a different and way more powerful concept, kinetic energy. This is the energy that a car has simply because it's moving. And here's the kicker, the one line that changes everything. Kinetic energy increases with the square of the velocity. The square. That means as you go faster, the destructive energy your car is packing doesn't just add up, it multiplies.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Look at the difference. If you double your speed, your momentum, that oomph we talked about, it also doubles. That's a straight line, it's linear. But your kinetic energy, the stuff that actually has to go somewhere in a crash, the stuff that causes the damage, that doesn't double. It quadruples. It grows exponentially. It's a whole different ballgame.
4 times. That's the number. Just let that sink in. 4 times. By going from 30 to 60 miles per hour, your car is not carrying twice the energy. It is carrying 4 times the destructive force into a potential impact. All of that energy has to be released in that split second of a crash. This, right here, is the chilling reason why high-speed collisions are so incredibly devastating.
Okay, so this is more than just a cool physics lesson, right? What does all this actually mean for you, for us, when we're behind the wheel every single day? Well, here it is. This is the single most important takeaway from all of this. While there are so many things in a potential crash that are completely out of our hands, the other driver, the weather, whatever, speed is the one thing that we have almost total control over. You control that pedal.
And just knowing that a little extra push on that pedal can quadruple the energy your car is carrying, well, that knowledge is one of the most powerful safety tools you can possibly have.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one last thing to think about. We've talked about the car, and we've talked about the people inside. But what about everything else that's in the car with you? You know, your phone on the seat, that coffee in the cup holder, the groceries in the back. In a crash, every single one of those loose objects keeps moving with its own violent momentum. They essentially become projectiles. It's a pretty sobering thought, and maybe something we should dive into in a future explainer.
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.